definition. Live, local, late-breaking. This is KOLD News 13 Now. Live.
They said it would be an upset, but not so fast. Arizona advancing. March Madness has hit Tucson.
So exciting. We have a live look at the University of Arizona's Main Gate Square tonight. A very busy night. A lot of smiling faces as our NCAA dreams continue.
And we have team coverage on tonight's big game coming up. But first, Tucson police zeroing in on what they call a problem area. The most graffiti, most felony arrests, and it's all happening in one particular part of town. They are getting the area that you see here in blue. KOLD News 13's Carissa Planup joining us live from the south side tonight with a look at the group's first meeting and other groups that are popping up across Tucson. Carissa?
Well, graffiti like these markings here on this building are what neighborhood leaders are complaining to Tucson police about. See, these markings are on a building facing Ajo, and residents don't want people driving through this area thinking that this is normal. Well, Captain Ramon Batista with the Southside Division says he's working on it. He regularly has officers come out and remove graffiti. But he's also done something very unique. Last year, he assigned one officer to learn how to read graffiti, figure out who is doing it, and go out and make those arrests. And Captain Batista says that officer has been pretty successful.
She has figured out how to read the graffiti, has figured out where the sources are of it. In some cases, you're talking about 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds, but then you're also seeing some 30-year-olds.
Well, Captain Batista says with fewer officers out on patrol, it's easier for him to interface with these neighborhood leaders and find out exactly what issues they need to be targeting. Now, there are about 5 other patrol divisions throughout the city of Tucson, and a couple of them are also starting their own citizen advisory committees. Live on the south side, Carissa Planup, KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking.
Thank you, Carissa. Police need your help tonight to identify a person of interest in an East Side robbery. It happened January 15th at the Pyramid Federal Credit Union near Broadway and Craycroft. But now police are hoping this sketch will help find the man. Anyone with information on his identity of this individual is urged to call 911 or 88 Crime.
Pima County Sheriff's deputies have new evidence tonight and have rearrested a man suspected of being a sex offender. Detectives arrested this man, 32-year-old Dwayne Peterson, back in February on charges of sexual abuse and sending obscene messages to a 13-year-old girl and then touching her inappropriately. Well, new evidence shows that Peterson was already under investigation by the Sheriff's Department for sending explicit pictures to another underage girl. And there might be other victims tonight. Police are urging you, if you have any information, to please call 911 or 88 Crime. In Pinal County, investigators are searching for a suspect in another sexual assault case. Deputies say that this man offered a ride through a 32-year-old woman, then drove her into the desert and sexually assaulted her. The victim describes the man as having brown hair and brown eyes, in his mid-20s, about 6 feet tall and weighing about 180 pounds. He was driving a red Chevy Camaro with a T-top. If you have any information, please call the Pinal County Sheriff's Office.
New details tonight as a man suspected of growing and selling large amounts of marijuana surrenders to police. 42-year-old Ronald Cisco turned himself in this afternoon. He faces charges for growing and selling, as well as for having equipment for using narcotics. There's one final charge of child abuse because he had his 22-month-old son living with him in the home where police found 53 pounds of marijuana. It's the latest effort to ban red light and speed cameras here in Tucson. Tonight, one man is collecting signatures to put the issue on the November ballot. KOLD News 13's Matt Mendez joining us live on the northwest side with more on why the man says these cameras are not fair. Matt.
Well, Scott, he claims the yellow lights are shorter. The line to running a red light is imaginary, and but other people who are against the ban say the cameras have proven to save lives. John Kromko filed a petition with the city of Tucson today to get rid of all traffic cameras in the city limits. He claims the company American Traffic Solutions, which manages the city's cameras, is using unfair methods to bust more people just to make money. Since the cameras were installed, the city has raked in around $6 million from citation dollars. That's according to Tucson's traffic safety report. That report also says accidents have gone down by almost 60%.
They're doing it to maximize profits, and it's very sad that our city would do that to people. to subject them to that, to let this private company do what the city police are supposed to be doing.
We reached out to American Traffic Solutions, who only corresponded with us by email. In part, they said the cameras have reduced red light running, collisions, injuries, and fatalities. The petition needs more than 12,000 signatures before March 5th, and you can find a link to that petition on our website, TucsonNewsNow.com. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Matt Mindus, KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking.
As Arizona advances.
Arizona advances, and the Wildcats looking really good tonight in their postseason game.
Damian Alameda joining us from Salt Lake City with the highlights from the Cats' solid performance.
A dominant, if not expected, performance by the Arizona Wildcats. Looking at you, Mr. President. And yet afterwards, the locker room was rather tempered. And why not? The business of basketball is just beginning.
We're not even celebrating, you see. He ain't got no smile on his face or nothing. You know,
we heard a couple claps.
Yeah, we just ready for the next game, man. Next game we win, we get to go to LA. So, you know, we got to get this next one.
Honestly, the first game is out of the way, so we're about to watch this next game coming up, and then just focus on that.
As soon as it's over with, I'm going straight to my bed. I'm not going to turn my TV on. Mark is my roommate. I told him we have a rule. We don't watch no games. We don't, turn no TV on, nothing. We just watch film, go back to the room, sleep, rest. That's the key to winning this tournament.
Coming up in sports, compliments to Mark Lyons on a career night, plus Solomon Hill gets critical constructively. Till then, from Salt Lake City, Damian Alameda for KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking.
All right, thanks so much, Damon. There were plenty of dedicated fans watching right here in Tucson.
Yeah, there sure are. KOLD News 13's J.D. Wallace joining us live from Main Gate Square with a look at the celebrations. J.D.
Well, Scott, fans gathered here today along University Boulevard with faith in the Cats, but also recognizing that Belmont wasn't just going to step aside and let the Wildcats win. The fans gathered here and they were cheering early in the first half and pleased at how the team maintained a lead. Some thought the game would be closer. The celebrating became more intense as victory became more certain near the end. And once the U of A could call this victory, fans immediately started checking their brackets to see what teams we could face down the road to the Final Four. The journey, of course, is long, and many are still enjoying today's victory.
It's incredible. I mean, I'd like to say we'll go all the way. We can always hope, but we'll see. But it was great. I mean, everyone was calling Belmont as an upset, and we showed them.
It's the most energizing thing for the city of Tucson. I was here when we won the tournament back in '97. I've never been in a more happy place. It's fabulous for our town.
Some fans today said that today's victory is important simply to show the fans that this team can carry on under Coach Sean Miller. Reporting live from University Boulevard, J.D. Wallace, KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking.
J.D., thank you. And the Wildcats play again on Saturday. Damian Alameda will be there to bring us all of the courtside reports. Your continuing coverage right here on KOLD News 13.
Spring training baseball returning to Tucson this afternoon as well, as the Los Angeles Dodgers and Chicago Cubs squared off in a charity game for the Christina Taylor Green Foundation. The game at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium was sold out with upwards of 12,000 people on hand. Prior to the game, the family of Christina Taylor Green presented a check of $100,000 to Southern Arizona Community Sports. That money is being used to build a 40,000 square foot complex at Curtis Park in the Flowing Wells community.
But whatever we make here today, everybody who comes and pays and buys a ticket today is going to help support programs back in the community. This is how we're moving on. Right. This is how we're trying to honor her.
KOLD News 13's David Kelly will bring us the highlights of today's exhibition game coming up in sports. And what a great day for baseball games. Wasn't it, Chuck?
And aren't the greens inspiring? We love still having them in Tucson. You know, if we look to the northwest, we're going to see what's coming our way. It's a storm that's created some flooding problems with mudslides in the Pacific Northwest and specifically in the Puget Sound area, not far from Seattle. Check out the landslides they had. Those messed with some of the rail traffic in and around the Seattle metro. That same storm headed for us, but right now it's just pulling clouds out ahead of it. Those clouds, though, will leave. We'll have the cloud cast hour by hour, plus, more importantly, the wind cast, because now we've got a high fire danger headed our way. Here's Heather Rowe.
All right, thank you, Chuck. And coming up after the break, money for educational programs. It is a tough thing to come by, especially with the government's automatic budget cuts.
But some recent changes to state law. Pima County is spending more for literacy programs, so they don't fall behind. KYLD News 13 Live at 10 continues for your neighborhood. I'm Scott Kilbury in for Dan Murray.
And I'm Heather Rowan. Right now on TucsonNewsNow.com, a huge drug bust at the Naco Port of Entry. Got to check out these pictures. Millions in drugs. We'll be right back. Pima County is shelling out taxpayer money to help kids read. A new state law says that kids who cannot read at 3rd grade level next year cannot move to the 4th grade.
And KYLD News 13's Bud Foster reports on how that has put some pressure on students and politicians.
School libraries are full of books, but if nobody pulls them off the shelves and reads them, well, they really don't do much good. And that's why a new program here in Pima County, partially funded by the Pima County taxpayer, is trying to make sure they are.
Well, it's a new consolidation and concentration of literacy programs.
Arizona students have fallen behind most states in reading skills, and next year a new state law hopes to reverse that trend. If kids can't read, they don't pass. That has led Literacy Connects to develop a new program which may help move them along.
All of the programming that we do is based on a real strengths perspective, individualized form of instruction, which is something the schools unfortunately can't do because of all their mandates. So we bring a nice complement.
For the schools, it means a deeper immersion in reading skills, and because most studies show when reading is a family affair, the kids do much better. So for Mission Manor Elementary School, where the new program will germinate, it means finding a way to make sure that happens.
It becomes a one-on-one help that we're getting from the community, whether it's a parent or another community volunteer that has that special relationship with a child and develops that, and at the same time, through that relationship, they're building their reading skills.
Pima County is providing the seed money, $75,000, to get the new reading program into the classroom. Since the money will be spent initially on the south side, there's been some concern since the dollars come from the general fund. But the county says everyone, regardless of where they live, benefits.
Well, I think it benefits all of us to have a well-prepared workforce, so that when you go to a store or you own a business, you're able to hire people. You're able to have folks that can understand you and speak with you intelligently. That benefits all of us.
The state of Arizona is moving away from the Ames test and moving into a Common Core curriculum, which we're told is much more rigorous. And that's why the people here at Literacy Connects are giving the kids a head start. I'm Bud Foster, Tucson News Now.
All right, thanks so much, Bud. In playing politics with your kids' education, when the automatic federal budget cuts went into effect, there were a lot of questions about what was real and what were empty threats. Well, tonight we're learning about how the cuts are impacting local low-income families. KYLD News 13's Chris Holmstrom is joining us now live. He's been digging into the numbers, and he has more for us tonight. Chris?
That's right, Heather. Laguna Elementary is one of 40 locations in southern Arizona that helps these low-income kids through the Head Start program. And if the budget cuts go into effect in September, that means less kids will have the chance for success in the future. Now, here's the breakdown. Nationally, the Head Start program will face a 5% cut, and that's all across the board. That means Arizona will lose millions of dollars. Here in southern Arizona, about 1.2 million, leaving more than 1,000 kids in our state without the early education program. Now, organizers say Head Start is vital for the development of children and also low-income families. They tell me it teaches them cognitive and social skills and also all about nutrition. And parents tell me that this program means everything to them and their community.
It's heartbreaking. There's so many children that actually need this program and so many children that would not have the means otherwise. And we just don't have anywhere else to go.
I'm retired. I live on Social Security and limited income. But we get by, you know, but to have to pay additional things that the kids can benefit by would be impossible.
And if the federal cuts go through, the Head Start program will have to start reducing starting September 1st. Reporting live from Laguna Elementary, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KYLD News 13, live local 8 breaking.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Chuck George, and boy, is it a warm night outside. We're still 71 degrees downtown. There's a live look at the Fox Theater banner there. Coming up in your first alert forecast, the clouds that are keeping us so warm tonight, they're about to give way, so don't give up on the sunglasses just yet. Instead, time to think fire smart and spring weekend.
Live, local, late breaking. This This is your First Alert forecast.
Heather Rowe and Scott Kilberry have more news for you coming up. Dan Maries has the night off because it's his birthday, so go to Facebook and tell him happy birthday. Welcome to your Thursday night. 79 was our daytime high today, which is normal. Almost for this time of the year. 56 was our morning low. Outside tonight, we're going to see temperatures drop off into the upper 50s. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll jump up to a high temp of about 80 to 82 degrees. Another day about like today. The difference tomorrow will be that the wind will be blowing out of the southwest at about 15 to 30 miles an hour. Kind of annoyingly windy out there. 69-degree temp tonight at 25% humidity. And around the state, we'll pull southeast Arizona out and take a look at it. 61 in Sierra Vista, it's 57 in Douglas. It is 66 up in Safford. And as I said, still almost 70 officially here in Tucson, 65 back in Sells and 64 in Ajo. Cloud cover has certainly been predominant today in our sky, blocking the sun for most of the day. That's what's been missing in our sky, right? Now this is the cloud cast, putting it in motion hour by hour. Watch it clear out of here. The clouds will clear out by 4:30, so you will need the sunglasses as you head out the door in the morning. Now this next model is wind. Any place you see orange is 30 or above as far as sustained wind goes. Now remember, the wind is never constant. It's always going to have little bursts in it, right? So where we're seeing these 30-mile-per-hour winds in the mountains of Cochise County, we'll have gusts to 40. Here in the city, we will likely see 15 to 25-mile-per-hour wind. The humidity is very low, so that means our fire danger is sky high. It's high enough now that the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather warning, otherwise known as a red flag warning, for much of southeast Arizona all day tomorrow and into tomorrow evening. So just be fire smart. It's that time of the year, right? Here comes the cold air. It's going to move into the Rockies and the Central Plains, but the cool air will come our way with this storm. It will cool us down to below normal levels over the weekend, which is kind of good news, I guess. We've been hot lately. We're not talking about cold weather. Again, summarizing this next push of energy, high fire danger both Friday and Saturday, and then highs on Saturday around 75 degrees, and the normal on Saturday is 76 for this time of the year for Saturday and Sunday, so we'll be at or just below normal. Around the nation, are you looking for some snow? We've got some in the Dakotas here and also down into North Platte, Nebraska. We also have snow southeast of that, but this stuff is going to march into the south and it will have a hard time going very far. This time of the year, it doesn't snow in the south very easily, just a little bit too much influence from the Gulf of Mexico and the warm air there. Overnight tonight, temperatures in Cochise County, here's what you'll wake up to in the morning. 51 in Sierra Vista, 47 in Douglas. You'll get up to a high in Wilcox of 77. The big deal will be the wind tomorrow, not the temperatures. They'll be about like they were today. Here is the forecast, though, for Oracle and the OV in the low 50s, 51 in Sahuarita, 80 in Corona de Tucson for the high tomorrow. And here's that 7-day First Alert forecast that is loaded with things, including Palm Sunday and also Passover and Holy Week, all happening on this 7-day First Alert forecast. That means, Scott, Maundy Thursday is next Thursday. You know all about that. Look at this weekend, though. Yes, you do. 75 degrees tomorrow. I should say Saturday and Sunday. Beautiful. And look at Monday and Tuesday mornings, guys. We wake up in the upper 40s.
Really?
Yeah.
Loving this.
Sounds nice, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chuck.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Hey, David Kelly is in next with sports. Damon Alameda, he has more on the Cats' big win in Salt Lake City.
Yes, so exciting.
This is KMLD News 13 Now, Sports.
And I'm David Kelly. There was an upset tonight in Salt Lake City. It just wasn't the one everyone thought it would be. 6th seed Arizona is moving on, but it's 3rd seed New Mexico who's going home. Let's talk about the Cats first. Dick Bird smiling early because everybody picked his team to upset mighty Arizona. Belmont came in as one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, but they couldn't get much of anything to fall on this night. The Wildcats, known as a jump shooting team, and frankly, almost everything went in for them from behind the arc. Arizona 9 of 17 from three-point land. That's 53%, and we said they needed to lean on their size, and the Cats did just that, out-rebounding the Bruins 44-18. But get these numbers in second chance points. The Wildcats 17 Belmont got one second chance point. U of A moving on. And here's Sports Director Damian Alameda with your post-game download from Salt Lake City, Utah.
According to the record books, it was a career night for Mark Lyons, but following the ebbs and flows of the game, it kind of started to feel like another atypical evening for the senior point guard, at least according to him.
You know, I just try to step up for my teammates. You know, a lot of us never been here before, so you know, I just want to make sure that the team can just follow their leaders.
I love having another New Yorker on my side. You know, he's not from the city, but he's from Schenectady, so I'll take that. But he's gonna get on me for that. But I love him, man. He's a great competitor, and it's good to have a competitor, you know, by your side every game.
Just a normal game for Mark. You know, he's a veteran, so he's been here before. Just went out there and he played. That's all you can really say. Just did what he could do.
Well, Mark is very experienced. You think about his track record and history playing in this tournament. You could feel that tonight, that he's been here before, and he did a really good job for our team.
As good as Mark Lyons was, the Cats' rebounding was better. Arizona came into the game with an obvious height advantage and exploited it to the tune of 44 boards to Belmont's 18. And yet Solomon Hill still took exception to one thing, the second half lapse in defense by the Cats that allowed Karan Johnson to score 18 of his 22 points.
You see when they hit the back-to-back threes, you can't let a team get going like that because back-to-back threes can turn into, you know, 4 in a row or a foul and a steal and a breakaway layup and it gets the crowd going. And
I think some guys play for the score, but you can't do that in the tournament. You could be down 20 in the first half and then come back in the second half, and you know that's just how March is. So.
It's do or die. All the chips are on the table right now, and I think we have to be able to put away that team like that. When we're up by 20, we have to keep it 20.
Well, they're a hard team to keep bottled up for 40 minutes, but we probably let our guard down for a few minutes. And when we've done that in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean that the next game that we have it back. And I think that's the one thing that we have a mature team right now, and you can't pick and choose effort level, especially on defense.
I think you just have to get some of the young guys to understand that if we're up 20, 25, you still play hard, play to win, don't play to lose.
Still plenty of work to do before Arizona takes on its next opponent, and for that, I will throw it back to Mr. David Kelly. From Salt Lake City, I'm Damian Alameda for KOLD News 13 Sports, live local, late breaking.
And Arizona will face Harvard. The 14th seed Crimson upset 3rd seed New Mexico 68-62. Harvard's first ever NCAA tournament win, and we've just learned this game will be Saturday at 3:10 Tucson time, again on TNT. Finally, Dodgers and Cubs in memory of Christina Taylor Green today at Keno Stadium. The Dodgers win, and youth sports in Southern Arizona got that huge check for $100,000. That is good for our kids. I'm David Kelly. We've got more coming up after the break.
Hey, remember we have this programming note, March Madness coverage continuing tomorrow. That means we're not broadcasting local news at 4, 5, or 6, but be sure to tune in at 9 and 10 p.m. for the latest news from around Southern Arizona.
Or just drop Heather and Scott on a line and they'll come to your house and do a personal news.
We do that from time to time as long as you provide dessert.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's happening.
Right. We want to wish one of us a very happy birthday, and that is Dan Murray's. He's missing from the set tonight because he's got his birthday off. There he is with a raspado.
Dano.
Yes, he is an Aries.
He
and
is
proud of it.
Yeah, and he is kicking off the March of the Aries here at the station. A lot of us are Aries, including Heather and me and
who else?
Teresa John.
Teresa is,
yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah.
And you're next, aren't you?
I think I'm next, yeah. Coming up at the Easter Sunday, yeah. And then yours is shortly after that.
Yes.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Dan.
Hey.
We leave you now with some words of wisdom from loyal cat fans. Good night.
Bear down! Go Cats! Woo! Bear down! Let's go Cats! Just keep fighting and let's go bear down. Very excited. We're gonna win!
Bear down. Download the Tucson News Now mobile app and you'll never be without news. From TucsonNewsNow.com, right here in the palm of your hand.
Sponsored by Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment, Tucson's place to play.